Here is the recap of the Season 2 of Rick and Morty. For half a year, time has been frozen, and the protagonists have been slowly rebuilding the house after the party. Having unfrozen it, the flow of time becomes unstable, and two timelines are created. Rick tries to fix it, but makes it worse. That's when the time police show up and want to arrest the protagonists, but they manage to escape, and eventually the timelines are restored. Rick, Morty, and Jerry are off on another adventure. The grandson discovers that his grandfather is involved in illegal weapons sales and wants to stop him. Morty decides to save a creature named Fart from the clutches of the Galactic Federation. But in the end, it turns out that this creature is trying to kill all living things in the universe, and the boy has to kill Fart. After this adventure, the protagonists take Jerry from a special playground for Jerry from across the universe, but at the very end, we learn that they may have taken the wrong Jerry. Rick, Morty, and Summer travel to a planet where they discover that all the locals have been taken over by Unity, a sort of collective mind. Summer inadvertently starts a civil war among the population. After that, she and Morty leave the planet. Rick, meanwhile, stays behind as Unity is his ex, and he starts having fun with her for a while. But Unity leaves him, and in the last frames of the series, Rick tries to commit suicide, but decides not to. The protagonists discover that their house is infested with some kind of telepathic, rapidly multiplying creatures that implant false memories in others. Rick realizes who it is and locks the house on quarantine so that the creatures do not destroy the entire planet. After a while, the apartment turns out to be full of parasites which the protagonists think are their friends. But Morty guesses that they implant only positive memories, and that's how they figure out all the aliens. However, at the very end, Beth injures their real family friend Mr. Poopy Butthole, believing that he too is a parasite. Suddenly a huge head appears over the planet telling the humans to show me what you got. Rick and Morty go to the Pentagon and tell the president that the heads actually want to hear a hit song or they will destroy the Earth. The protagonists manage to save the planet by writing the song Get Swifty. Meanwhile, the people on Earth manage to create a new religion dedicated to the heads. But when they disappear, everything goes back to normal. Rick discovers that the generator powering his flying car has stopped working, and together with Morty, he goes inside to figure it out. We learn that inside the generator is a whole universe where there is a planet where Rick is a kind of god, and he tricked all the inhabitants into generating electricity for him. However, on this planet there is a scientist who himself came up with the idea and created such a generator, in which he also made other creatures produce electricity for him. There is an altercation between the scientist and Rick, but eventually Rick leaves this universe and the local scientist realizes that either his planet continues to produce energy for the old man, or Rick will destroy it. Beth and Jerry keep fighting, and Rick sends them to a special psychological center, which helps couples to cope with their problems. To make it clear, the center creates copies of their halves as their partner sees them, but everything goes wrong and the copies of the protagonists destroy the whole center. Meanwhile, Morty and Summer ask their grandfather to help them catch a vampire at school. Rick transfers his consciousness into his young clone and kills the villain. However, the clone starts behaving very strangely and doesn't want to return to his old body. The kids manage to get their grandfather's consciousness back, and Rick destroys all of his remaining clones in the basement. In this episode, the protagonists once again watch interdimensional television, while Jerry is being treated in a special super hospital. Jerry is told that he can donate his genitals and save the galaxy's most powerful civil rights leader. Jerry first agrees, then refuses, causing everyone to hate him, but then he goes crazy and demands that his penis be cut off, almost getting him killed. Rick and Morty find themselves on a planet where once a year there is a night of judgment. Roughly speaking, in order to aggression in their world was less once a year, all crimes are allowed, so all the inhabitants can be said to let off steam. Morty at first wants to help the locals, but in the end, everything goes wrong and they have to kill a lot of creatures themselves. The protagonists are invited to the wedding of Bird Person and Tammy, but arriving there, it turns out to be a trap, and Tammy is a secret agent of the galactic government, as they consider Rick a terrorist. Bird Person dies and the protagonists escape. They begin to hide from the Galactic Federation. They try to find themselves an acceptable world to live on and stay on a very tiny planet out of desperation. However, Rick realizes that his family should not have to pay for his misdeeds and surrenders to the Galactic Federation. The protagonists return to Earth, which has become part of the alien government. This is the end of the Season 2. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the like button. Thanks for watching, goodbye!